This was a trip to ghost town Doel in January 2018. Doel is a subdivision of Beveren in the Flemish province of East Flanders. It is located near the river the Scheldt in a polder of the Waasland. The first mention of the village dates from 1267, when the Doel name is first mentioned. Until the 18th century, the village was an island surrounded by purposefully flooded land, with a remainder north of the village known as the drowned land of Saftingen. The island Den Doel is completely surrounded by old seawalls. The dike encloses the hamlets of the Sweet Verge, Saftingen, Rapenburg and Ouden Doel. The Doel polder site is unique to Belgium and dates back to the 80 Years' War. The war was from 1568 till 1648. The typical checkerboard pattern dates from 1614, when these geometric farmlands were first mapped, and they have seen little change over the years. This fact makes the village a rare example of regional urbanization. The village has many historic buildings, including the oldest stone windmill of the country, and the only windmill on a seawall. The Baroque Hooghuis, that is associated with the entourage and holdings of the famous 17th century Antwerp painter Peter Paul Rubens. Some of the historical and cultural buildings in the town area are the Reinhardt Farm, the Reinhardthoeve, with a monumental farmhouse and barn. The Doelen is a historic school. The Putten or the Wells is a peat extraction area and has an historically unique 18th century farmstead, and inside the old hoefijzer with one of the last remaining historic barns. Electrabel-owned Doel Nuclear Power Station is located to the north of the village of Doel. Its 4 reactors can produce a total output of 2.8 GW of electricity for consumers in Belgium, France and the Netherlands. Doel is threatened with complete demolition due to the future enlargement of the port of Antwerp. This has seen many people having to sell their homes to the development corporation of that enlargement. Many historical buildings will be destroyed. An author says in one magazine article concerning the demolition of the village, the Belgian village of Doel was reclaimed from the river Scheldt at the beginning of the 17th century. 300 years later, and the village that would grow behind the seawall is under threat. The threat comes not from a failing dike or an unexpectedly sudden rise in water levels, but rather from the expanding port of Antwerp and its insatiable need for more and more land along the Scheldt in which to grow. Now Doel, the last of the Belgian polder villages on the banks of the Scheldt near the North Sea, faces possible demolition. The construction of a large dock and container terminal capable of receiving deep sea ships is already underway on the site immediately next to the village, and the Port Authority proposes building a second one where the village now stands. In a memorial to the British soldiers killed nearby during World War II was removed from the town square during the early morning hours in 2011, according to a BBC report. you.